Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast with me, Andy, Corporate Commander TFW, and I'm joined this week by the King of Horses. It's Mikey G. Wolf V3. Hello, Mikey.
More accurate than you think.
It is related to something I've done this week, so I'm gonna weave it back together and make it make sense by the time we get onto what we did this week.
I'm trying to figure this one out.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. We'll get there. Mikey. It's been
Andy,
another
is
week.
this something that should not be admitted in public?
No. I don't mind admitting this in public. Doesn't mean it shouldn't be admitted in public, but I'll admit it. We're here to talk about Transformers this week, Mikey. There's actual news to talk about, which I was kind of surprised about. I thought we'd maybe have one story, but we have many stories, and a return of one story which I thought had been put on the back burner forever, and now it's back. I want to know, though, Mikey, because I want to check now before we actually get to the story. Do we have a translated version of the Transformers Generation Select Super Megatron webcomic?
Not that I know of, but we have an overview provided by TFW.
Fuck!
They're not Google translating it. They're just giving a summary, which is preferable to what they usually do, which is Google translated.
But I'm still disappointed. I wanted a full translation. Never mind, though. Shall we get into the news this week, Mikey?
Let's.
Right, let me kick you off, Mikey, with Kang with a C. Kang, not Kang with a K. Kang Toy is doing the CT Chiyo 02, which is the Land Bull. Land Bull being G1 Tantrum. We must have talked about these. Oh, no, we did. We talked about their Ferocious, which was Rampage at some point, didn't we? Or did we?
We did. It was a while back now.
Yeah, I thought so, but, as we mentioned probably then as well, they all kind of blend together. Excuse me. We have coloured prototypes of this Tantrum then in Buru mode, in Robo mode, and in Reg mode as well. The Leg mode is as exciting as you would expect it to be. No signs of the foot, though. It is merely the shin. So we don't know how good or fancy the feet are going to be, but I guess it's suggesting that he's not going to come with the foot. The foot will probably come, I guess, with Razor Claw, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. He has an accessory, which is a big sword attached to a big gun, so you can gun and sword it up. And his bull actually has a little nose ring as well, which is quite cute. There seems to be tampograph details on there, like details you'd see on like a Master Grade Gundam kit, like your warning symbols and your O2, and then little bits here and there, just to give it some extra pop, which I actually think is quite nice. It brings a bit more flair to the figure. But Mikey, how do you think this guy has turned out? Do you like it?
Overall, I'm digging it. Robot mode aesthetic, it's on the chunky side, but it's the good chunk. The bull is really solid. Looks like it's got very good posability. I like the overall sculpt. I'm digging a lot of, honestly, I'm digging a lot of the design of this. The weapon is the weapon. I mean, it's just looking at it, just like that sure doesn't look like it clips into something else to make a bigger sword.
Yeah.
And hey, he's also a leg.
He is. Is it me, or does he look a little bit more peach coloured than orange? Or do you think that might be the camera washing out the colour, potentially?
I think he is very much on the peach side of things, but I don't think Rampage was particularly orange.
He was
not Rampage.
He was.
Tantrum.
Yeah, he was. I'm sure he was. He wasn't peach.
I always thought he was kind of that shade, to be honest.
No, not to my knowledge.
I don't remember most of the Predacons very well unless I'm looking at them. Because because who cares?
I'd even say that the red seems kind of a little bit desaturated as well. I'd say the colors across the board on this guy look a little bit maybe washed out, and maybe that's the look that they're going for. I can't remember, because again, I can't remember what Ferocious looked like, and I don't have a direct link to it anyway, so I don't know.
Rampage.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm interested to see how the rest of them look, especially the cats. The big cat rather. Yeah, no, I think it's turning out well.
What do you think of the facial expression? What do you
A bit generic, but that's what you expect, really, isn't it?
Okay, I actually
Just
thought
like,
it's not too bad. There's a bit of personality there instead of just a stoic, non-expression face.
Hmm. Well, no, I'm glad it's got an expression. It's just kind of like it's the turtle gurn. Hey, it's better than him just sort of like, I have no feelings.
It's true.
Which every Starscream toy is having for some reason at the moment, while all the other Seekers get the smirky face mold. It's very strange to me.
Yeah.
Feels like someone mixed stuff up.
Yeah.
But no, I think he's looking well. I don't think he's going to come out in June at this rate. I would be very surprised.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. And even if he does come out, who's going to be able to stock him, I think should be another question. Like, yeah, sure, the toy might be ready to be shipped, but can anywhere actually take it? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that are not going to be either accepting deliveries or going to be having reduced deliveries because they don't have the staff and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, I think he's turned out pretty good.
All right, yeah. So you're on board. You'll buy one.
I will buy you. I'll let you buy me one.
See, you almost said the right thing. You almost said you were going to buy me one. I was like, oh, all right. And then you quickly pulled out. I was like, damn. Okay, well, I'll see how it is.
With you, Andy, I always pull out as quickly as possible.
Hooray! It's my dream come true. Yeah, I think this bull is okay. Not amazing, but like you say, Mikey, it seems like he's got a bit of design uniqueness to him. So it's something at the very least. Do you want to take us on to the next story, son?
Yeah, this is a bit of a surprise because I hadn't heard from these guys in so long. I assumed they were dead. But according to TF Source, Make Toys is releasing a limited edition version of their Downbeat, which is their Jazz, who I hear is a very good figure. MTRM09. Now, according to TF Source, Make Toys are working away behind the scenes, and they are going to be having some new releases announced later in the year, which is, cool because Make Toys, them do good work. There's a lot of market spiel here from Make Toys. They give a letter. Blah, blah, blah. We know we're all time factory. Factory was at the epicenter at its no, they had factories around Wuhan, and they're going through recovery. Over the years, trusted partner. Blah 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 blah. Pandemics are bad. Make Toys committed to a product lineup, and we release all products revealed over the last year. It'll just take time. We will continue with both our remastered and cross-dimension lines and have even more exciting figures yet to be revealed in that. But that's going to come later in the year. Finally, we'll do a better job of keeping the fandom updated on our upcoming releases. We'll do more to keep everyone updated online and aware of all the great products coming. Cool. But yeah, we don't have... We've got a picture of the vehicle mode. It doesn't... I think it's just basically... It's got extra paint and it comes with a sticker. But like I said, this is a popular figure that sold out pretty quick, so I think people are gonna like having extra chance to get at it. But this really sounds like they released this just to sort of grab attention from the customer again and say, hey, we're not dead.
Yeah,
and we are going to come out again. It's just we're being held up.
Yeah, it's good to see that they're kind of doing stuff, and like you say, it's good to be able to have the chance to get the figure again. It's maybe a bit disappointing that there's nothing new, shall we say, I guess?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hey, like, at the moment, everything's being held up.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything and its uncle, so... at least they're not like Fans Project who just disappeared, who would show up every now and then to conventions, show a slide of a toy they never put out and then go away.
Yeah, and now they seem to be... Are they gone for good now? I don't know.
I'd say if they come back... do you know what? I could swear they'll pull a BotCon where like one of the guys will come back and say, look, it's Fans Project. And it's like, it's not really Fans Project. By the way, notice no one's talking about that BotCon anymore after the initial fervor.
That's true, actually. Maybe it's just because of the stuff going on at the moment, or maybe there are like other reasons.
Yeah. Well, I hope that it has remained calm and professional and polite.
That's how the internet works, Mikey.
If you're interested in getting the MRTM09R Downbeat Premium Version Limited Edition, he'll be out in July at TF Source for $110, which isn't actually a bad price for a limited edition.
No, it's fine. Is it a markup, do you know, from what the original was released at? Because I can't remember.
I will have a look, see if I can find out. He's very, very nearly dead.
Oh no.
Their version... Oh, yeah, it is a slight markup. The original was $94.95.
Okay.
And the Ricochet was $99.95, but both of those are out of stock.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's cool. I just wondered how much of a markup it is, and it's a slight markup.
Yeah. But again, limited edition, aren't they always?
Yeah, exactly. Shall I take us on to the next story, Mr. Mikey?
Please do.
Right, so the Takara Tomy Mall finally show off, after a very, very long wait in the shadows, the exclusive Generation Select Super Megatron from the Battlestar Return of Convoy, the popular manga that everybody in the Transformers community read. Ha 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 ha. They didn't.
It wasn't a manga. It was a couple of pages.
Oh no!
In fact, that was one from the I think that was in Televicon. So I think it was just like a couple of pages comics. That because this came after Zone, which I think only got one issue, or no, I think Zone only got a couple of Telev pages as well.
Oh my god!
I think the last proper manga was Victory.
Oh man, bummer.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is Super Megatron. We have images of him, which we can talk about. Pre-orders for the figure, though, start from April the 8th, that's pretty soon, to May the 7th. And he's going to be coming out for 6,600 yen, which is approximately, as of when this article was written, $61.42. Scheduled for proper release in late September. So, Mikey... As we know from long ago, and we can see now that this is a redo,
long time ago,
a really heavy redo of the Galvatron, the Titans Return Galvatron mold, who had, I would say, massive problems and was not a very good toy. And he's been retooled and retwiddled and refiddled into Super Megatron, and people are suspecting, and I don't think it's a crazy thought, that he will be able to make Ultra Megatron as well, the kind of mega
been confirmed
of evolution.
He's a quadruple changer.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. When people were saying, "Oh, could you believe he does this?" I was like, "Yes." I kind of assumed that as soon as I saw the images. But okay, cool. Mikey, what do you think of Super Megatron? Even though we haven't seen Ultra Megatron.
Yeah. Ultra Megatron's basically just like he's got a different chest and arm cannon, isn't it? And he's got a different alt mode, but
yeah, there's some very minor tweaks.
I don't remember him well enough.
Yeah.
I think he looks really good. The Galvatron, from what I heard, basically was a solid toy with two real big problems, which was the terrible headmaster execution.
Yes.
And the way the arm cannon blocked off the joints on the arm.
Yes.
Which it's not doing here because the cannon appears to be mounted like a normal fusion cannon, so the elbow looks fully functional, and he's got a real head.
Yes.
So for me, it's basically made it an acceptable mold and one I'd be interested in picking up if I had the cash handy, because my god, I'll need something to entertain me. So I'd actually be keeping an eye out on the pre-orders here, see where's the cheapest place cheapest you can get with a middleman or something like that.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to middleman it unless you live in Japan, of course.
The alt mode, it looks fine. It's nothing special, but hey, considering what they're trying to do. The robot mode looks solid. I like the overall, like, he's extremely chunky, especially the arm cannon, but that's Super Megatron's design. He's pretty, from what I could see, like, barring like the shins, he's pretty on the ball to the artwork.
Yeah, it's a pretty heavy retool, really.
Oh yeah, it's massive retool. But hey, no, I think he looks good. What do you think?
I just wanted to ask another question. Are you concerned potentially with how the how much the arm cannon's going to weigh? Because I don't think the arms were on ratchet joints, and that does look like a pretty big cannon.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I want to see what kind of. It depends how heavy it is. Like,
that's the thing. Yeah, we've no idea.
Yeah. If this is hollow plastic, I wouldn't be too worried.
Mm-hmm.
If this is anyway solid, it would be a concern.
Yeah. I mean, this will be only something we'll figure out once the actual toy comes out. Obviously, as well, it would be nice to see when Ultra Megatron comes out how his modes look. Both tank mode and the other
we get an idea.
the robot mode. Yeah, we get an idea for the most part, but it's not a solid, like, here it is. Because I think the plane mode is fine. It's
Galvatrons, really.
I'd say it's better than the Galvatron one. The Galvatron one was pretty fucking shocking. Especially since all the other thing he did was turn into a cannon. At least this has the excuse of him turning into a tank, which needs to be another kind of legit mode. It was weird, because when I saw this initially, I was like, I should be excited for this. I should be like, oh, this is really fucking cool. But I think it's the 3 G1 Megatrons we've had in a row. From the Siege line, effectively. That's kind of it made me sour.
It's not his fault, basically.
No, but I've been soured on the G1 Megatron look because we've just been hammered with it so much recently. It's kind of the Bumblebee Optimus Prime effect. It's like, oh, it's another one. I know it's referencing something that should be a lot cooler than how I'm feeling, but at the moment it's just like, well, there's another Megatron, I suppose, in that nice, which is a bummer. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I was more behind this. I really do. Yeah, but do you know where I'm coming from, though?
No, I get you. Like this is the kind of aesthetic change I'd want from, to be blunt, the mainline figures at the moment, and it's the kind of aesthetic change we're simply not getting. So for my part, I'm like, okay, cool. If this was a mainline toy, absolutely, I'd be out there buying this guy. Because to support that kind of aesthetic and everything else. It looks like I'm just looking at the art pictures. It looks like his cannon splits down the middle. To form the Ultra Megatron cannon. Didn't realize that. But we've been. It's not just that we've had Megatrons constantly. We've had the same Megatron, almost insultingly so, for several years now. Like the last time we had a Megatron who wasn't simply trying to be G1, that was still looking like a G1 style Megatron, was the Titan's Return one. And that was a Blitzwing retool. Or pre-tool, if you want to go down that road. So this guy is unfortunately suffering just because especially now where the Megatrons we're getting are the least inspiring toys made by God. So unfortunately, Soups is just sort of suffering for other people's pain, because I think he looks like the best Megatron toy in a good long while. But he's just following up a couple of crappy ones.
Yeah, I
still
wouldn't
want
disagree.
to get the cell-shaded version.
No, Mikey.
I like that cell-shaded version. I also kind of like the G2 version, but I'm still mad it's not the right G2 version. I'm kind of terrified they're going to do the earthrise one in proper G2 colors, because I don't want the earthrise one under any circumstances. I fucking hate that cannon.
But it's so good, Mikey. It changes the entire look of the tank mode.
Yeah, but it also... Andy, why does a cannon have a shank?
Because that's how cannon... have you ever held a cannon, Mikey?
I've been in one.
Fire me, boy.
Fire me, boy.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this should have came out, or should have been announced a few months ago, and I think I would have been more excited before we got like 2 more of the Megatrons. But never mind, I suppose. It won't be a bummer for everyone, it's just a bummer for me. But I want you, Mikey, to tell me about the comic that it comes with, since it comes from, a place of love that we both enjoy. Not the ultimate place of love, but...
no, this is sort of the... That place is going... Well, look at it this way. They'll never be able to fuck up that place of love, because they'll never revisit it. And it ends on the best character of all time, Megatron, living out as the hero that we know he was.
Damn
Megatron.
right.
All hail him.
Damn right.
But in another universe, in another time, where Megatron's still a dickhead, we've got a Hayato Sakamoto comic going along with this, which unfortunately is kind of killing one of my hopes and dreams, but I don't think it's his fault.
What's the hope and dream?
We'll get to it.
Oh,
But it
okay.
starts with the Unicron battle, except like it's got a bunch of Unicron related toys from the early 2000s,
Yes.
including the little the energy ball animals. What were they called? The little energon egg things.
Yeah, they were
It's got
only
the
in Japan,
Cybertron.
weren't they?
Yeah. They were a Kiss Player toy, if I remember. I
What?
think, yeah, they were a Kiss Player toy.
Okay.
I think they were part of the storyline where they were doing concerts.
That makes sense.
I believe who's the guy with the shoulder? Oh no, they're all the same guy. Sorry, I thought it was someone else there on the right. But yeah, and a swarm of Cybertron, Unicron toys, which I really like that toy. It was actually one of the first Transformers I ever bought as a collector. But I have a real affection for that toy. Mine, unfortunately, got smushed in an incident we won't repeat.
Oh no.
But yeah, Galvatron and Cyclonus are teaming up with Optimus, Hot Rod, and Pretender Bumblebee. And then Primus calls through and says, use the Matrix, and Optimus is like, oh, the Matrix, shit, I forgot I had that. And then he does the usual thing. But then Piranacon shows up and spoils the time. And you've got, or rather, like, it seems like Optimus is having some kind of flashback to the Unicron battles, being reminded again that the Matrix does shit. And we're coming back to the Piranacon toy. And he's about to kill Optimus, and then boom! Headshot. As Super Megatron emerges, and they're like, shit! And Super Megatron is like, fuck you! And for some reason, I think, Piranacon turns all his limbs into guns. So Piranacon now officially, because Sakamoto, officially has what I can only call a Megazord tank mode.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly what that is. Yeah, good point.
Yeah. Also, the G2, the Beast Wars Seacons are killed off by Super Megatron.
Boo.
Yeah, I feel like someone had their repaint cancelled. Because there was no way, there's no way the Tentakill toy looks the way it does, and they weren't intending to do that into Cilia.
Yeah.
Because so we can dream, but we can dream.
Bummer.
In fact, I think that's Cilia's hand that half shell is reaching for.
Oh no.
Yeah. Anyway, Super Megatron literally drives through Piranacron, blowing him to bits, and then he goes for Optimus, takes a few pot shots. Optimus uses the power of the Silver Energon Matrix to become Star Convoy, and then Star Convoy uses the power of lying down, which he apparently learned from Piranacon, to blow the shit out of Super Megatron, because that base mode never looked good.
No, and it still
but
doesn't.
Super Megatron,
Even by Sakamoto style, it doesn't look good.
Yeah. And then Super Megatron apparently is eating people.
Oh, we're back to Kiss players.
Yeah, no, like very similar expression. He's got blood coming out of his mouth. I can't tell if that's him having actually eaten someone, if it's supposed to be like, oh, I'm so badly injured. And I just like the idea, like, oh no, in this universe, he's got red energon. Remember red energon, Andy?
Oh, from Smallville.
Yep. Smallville, yes, Andy. He picks up one of the Battle Beast characters, who unfortunately does not turn into a Target Master because this is a different version of her, and goes to bite her head off and give me the Matrix or I'll bite her brain. And Star Convoy is like, take it, I'll save this tiny pink cat girl. And using that, he transforms into Ultra Megatron, who has longer wings and a different gun, and turns into what we are calling a cannon.
Tank.
Also, you can presume a tank. Presumably, you can do the cannon mode.
Probably. I mean, the cannon mode wasn't much. I suppose, but I don't know.
Be something Megatron. Yeah. Well, no, because if Sakamoto keeps going, we're definitely going to see it. And then he blows up Star Convoy, who's trying to use his trailer bits as a shield.
Yeah.
that didn't work. And to be continued.
Ba-ba-bum.
Ba-ba-bum. It's a very pretty comic.
Yeah. But it feels like a constrained Sakamoto.
Well, yeah, because we know what he'll do if we let him loose.
Exactly.
Getting random pretender Bumblebee and a bunch of Cybertron toys is what they're allowing him to do now.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah. Where, like, I still love the end of that. Like, I really wish it hadn't ended because I was still really enjoying it, but I loved the end of the Legend story. I think it was a really, actually very well done one. Like, that really played on what the various characters had become in that universe.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, if you're releasing the bloody 80s mangas, which apparently I was seeing some people complain about because they got the first volume and said this is very goofy.
But yeah, of course it is.
It's an 80s children's manga. An 80s children's manga.
From Japan.
Which from Japan. They are much younger. They certainly were much younger than they, target audience than they are now.
Yeah.
Like
well,
it's
were
not
they
like the classics manga.
Were they expecting the Pokemon manga, where everyone's way more sexy and it's actually a pretty dark manga?
And James is straight.
Yeah. The worst crime of all.
James gets Jessie pregnant.
Yeah, he does.
For anyone who doesn't know, there's a manga, the original Pokemon manga, where like Charizard flips out and literally tries to eat another Charizard.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, they do a fast forward, and Jessie and James are a couple with a child on the way.
Yeah.
And it ain't right.
Yeah, but I will say in that manga, Giovanni's done pretty well. Like, he'll just kill useless Pokemon too.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, oh, damn.
Basically, what the Pokemon games sometimes pretend to be. Because, like, sometimes if you look in, like, the back of books and stuff in the games, there's stuff like, these Pokemon eat each other. Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and then they realize, oh, how many kids play our games? We could market the shit out of this if we make it cute as fuck.
See this guy? He'll never age. We'll always have him here.
Hooray!
10 years. And Pikachu will always be here. Always. Yep. Boring Pikachu.
Bye, Butterfree.
Please, I just want to fight for you. Goodbye. Sorry, I've already left. Bye.
I max leveled my stats and then you threw me out because there was nothing left for me to do.
What you didn't see was like a Pidgeotto dive bombing Butterfree and eating it.
It's just a wing left floating to the ground. Or
like the pink one that he found, because the pink one's like a natural color, so it stands out.
Oh yeah, shiny. Is that what they're called, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I don't think a shiny Butterfree is pink. I've never, in all the time I've played Pokemon over the years, ever gotten a shiny Pokemon in game.
Yeah, I never cared. Like, because the stats aren't any better on them, are they? Are they?
No, they're just collectible.
Yeah, fuck that then.
But like, when people go like, we've increased the chance of getting one to 1 in 800. How? Well, you just have to play the game for 6 hours straight and do nothing but try to get shiny Pokemon. Also, if anything goes wrong with this, you've got to start again.
No. No.
You love it.
Oof.
Please get out of my house.
Yeah.
But yeah, Andy.
Mikey.
Take us on to a Chinese bit of news.
Yeah, so Taobao the Hasbro China Taobao exclusive studio series Camo Blackout was shown. I assume via Weibo? Oh no, 2 years after our first report. Wow, okay. We finally have it in hand.
This?
Apparently. Apparently this was talked about 2 years ago, so wow, okay. We finally have in-hand images of the Hasbro China Taobao exclusive studio series Camo Blackout, thanks to Trans Fans, who is, I guess, someone on the page, or some news person. This figure is very special and very limited redeco of the studio series Blackout, which was available as a special giveaway prize for customers who bought the studio series figures from the Hasbro China Taobao site only in May. It says in May the 15th rather than on May the 15th. Yes, just one day. This figure was limited to 88 figures. Oh, that's weird. Worldwide, since it was a special custom job to Chinese artist. Li Yungfeng. I apologize if I messed up that name. That was my best attempt. The box is the same as the original Hasbro Studio Series release, but it has numbered stickers on it. The one in the picture is number 79 of the 88. And another one with Lee's Sang-Zhong Studios logo. Oh, okay. Blackout features an interesting blue faded finish that looks original and different compared to the original grey Blackout. This may be one of the most hard to find Studio Series figures. To the point where we got images after 2 years of the original release. Okay, so it came out, but no one took any pictures of it. Yeah.
It may be one of there's 88 of them in the entire world.
Yeah. That's a good point.
This is the hardest one to find.
Yeah. I suppose you could say someone maybe just did a paint job on it. Who knows? Well, no, they got special box. So
that would be terrible. I just
someone did a custom.
Yeah, this is just no, that'd be terrible.
Why
does he look
though.
Taller than the other Blackout? He looks taller than regular Blackout. Is that just how they've done the knees?
Yeah. If you look, he's got a bit more bent knees, I think. Actually, I don't know. Oh, no, it must be something to do with the transformation. I can't believe they'd make the limited one very slightly taller. That would be really weird.
That would be fantastic.
What do you think of this very, very limited Blackout? Because to me, it looks okay, but it's not like a standout thing like the Lucky Draws. Like they were bright, gaudy gold. So you go, okay, that's fancy, so that makes sense. Oh, it wasn't one of their really bright, obnoxious color schemes for it, which again draws the eye. This is just like this is maybe you'd see something from the lesser G2.
This is an artiste version. This is the artiste picked the color scheme.
Yes.
And presumably they are not one of the neon crowd. I think it looks like a semi-realistic camo deco. I would maybe a bit too blue, but it does look slightly tie-dyed. And it's just a strange thing to me that this was just well, we decided to take this figure to a custom studio and have them come up with a custom paint job and then release it and it's sort of tame. I'm surprised it doesn't you couldn't. I'd be surprised if someone said, Lee Young Fen did this, and someone it is classic Lee Young Fen, very very him, don't you think, or her? I don't know which side of the fence Lee Young Fen falls down on. Let's find out. It's a him. But yeah, it's God, he looks joyless. Just a picture of a beard. He's just I don't smile. And looking at his art's quite crazy. I wanted to see him do a toy like this.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'll show you the Google image search for it. Simple enough. But if he was doing some stylized stuff in some of this regard, if he'd just gone to town, I would have been way more into that.
When you say gone to town, you mean porn?
Well, I mean, he doesn't seem to have any porn, apart from that one lady who seems to... her backside's trying to escape the picture. It's kind of like she's been punched in the gut and she's flying to the right.
Yes. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, if we had a Blackout with some of this on it, or a stylized image or something like that, I think that would have been way more appealing than Lee, do us a custom paint job. I don't know. Tie-dye? I've got a tie-dye set here. I could tie-dye the toy for you.
That'll do. Slap it on.
Can I have one? Yeah, sure. Great. Get out of my head.
I'll give you 88 now. Piss off.
Now this toy is obviously going to be worth a stupid amount of money
yes.
going forward. So look forward to trying to sell yours, because if they're anything like Lucky Draw, I bet that's not easy.
Whoop whoop.
Andy.
Do you have anything else you want to throw down on this, Mikey, or is he done?
I is done. I am wondering also, have you ever managed to shift those Lucky Draws?
I haven't tried for a long time, so I haven't tried to sell anything for a long time.
Just a hoarder now. You're going to be in TV.
Well, if you remember, I did sell one or two of them a while ago. So I did sell them.
But I have the image of just hoarders now going into your house.
Okay.
It's like, Andy Millman has a problem. A mildly sized collection, very neatly organized, and just like, I just collect toys.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This man's life has been completely taken over by this toxic hobby.
Oh no.
I've just got a couple of shelves, really.
Man, if only I drank and did drugs like everybody else. Ugh. My life would be
Like
so much
handing you
better.
drugs, just like, for his sanity, we will restore Andy Millman to normality. Isn't that heroin? Take it, Andy. Take it and be standard.
They're just injecting me and I'm going, no! I don't want heroin!
Heroin is for bad people.
I'm a good boy!
I'm a good boy. There's a lot of breasts in those toys. That is what nature intended.
I said I was a good boy, not that I was a moral boy.
I'm not a fucking saint. Be
Mikey,
honest, you'd watch that episode of Hoarders. Because Sean Long was on something like that, wasn't he?
Something like that. I can't remember what the show was called, though. It might have been Hoarders.
It was just like,
I don't think it was,
Sean Long has a problem. I remember it had a woman on it.
Yes.
I remember that. And it was weird just because it's his job to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't like that because either he's taken it way too fucking far over the years and people have just been ignoring the fact that this is a guy who is having a problem and taking advantage of that, or someone offered to pay him a lot of money and he said yeah, sure.
I could see it being more that.
I always hate how fake those shows are, basically.
Oh yeah. My god, Mikey, like every day they have Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares USA on, and that show's utter bollocks.
Yeah, I would stab Gordon Ramsay in the foot.
I wouldn't, because I think he makes nice food. I just think he's on a lot of trashy shows.
He doesn't need his foot to cook.
Like he probably makes nicer food than I do, and not that that's a desperately high bar. So
I was going to say not the highest of options.
No, I'm happy to admit that. So if he wanted to cook me food, I'd be like, oh no, don't make me nice 5-star food, Gordon. Blech. Anyway,
no.
Mikey, do you want to take us on to our next story, sir?
Yeah, so, Transformers Earthrise Target exclusive 2-packs. We have 2 packs of 2 packs. These are going to be out in Target in July, I believe.
Maybe.
So, maybe. Always a maybe on these. So, the first one is a 2-pack of the Decepticon clones. So these are the figures that came out there a year or two ago, and these are basically the Takara versions. Apparently there's 1 or 2 new paint apps, but these are the Takara versions. You'll be able to get them for $24.99, which I don't think is a crazy price.
No, I think that's fair.
Maybe a 5 or more than I'd want to pay, but
I think that's what you paid for the Japanese ones, not including import charge.
True. So to be fair, it is probably cheaper than getting the Japanese one back in the day. So, more fool all of you who bought them. Haha.
I got them. I'm happy with mine. I got mine 2 years ago.
I called you a fool.
That's fine.
And we're sticking with it.
Also, I will say, if you wanted them here in the UK, you'd probably have to order them from America and probably have to pay import on them anyway. So you'd be paying probably as much.
Yeah, and that's before you go like £25.
And you know what the downside to this is, Mikey? This release, no comic, no Sakamoto comic.
Why would you even bother with their bitch asses then?
You're saying it in a slightly sarcastic way, but I'm not. I'm really happy I have the comic.
The comic's the best thing about those toys. Like, I've had toys from that line that I've sold, and I've kept the comic, and I had someone complain that I didn't give them the instructions, and I said, "Oh no, I lost it."
Oh, you bitch!
While holding it in my hand.
You bitch!
Because I'm not telling them I have it, because they're going to either tell me to send it or give them their money back. So I'm just like, nah, it wasn't advertised, and I remember it wasn't on the advertisement that I had it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe you should get the fuck out of my house.
Wow.
Yeah, and the other 2-pack is These really should have been single releases, in my opinion. It is Skywarp and Thundercracker, who are going to be released for $60, so basically the price of 2 Voyagers.
Yeah.
There's no reason to sell them as a 2-pack, in my opinion.
It's becoming more common to sell Thundercracker and Skywarp as 2-packs, it feels like.
Yeah, but what if you only want one of them?
But too fucking bad.
Wait, with like the Rainmakers or something like that, I get it, but when you're talking one of the main 3... Skywarp has a new face mold, which is Skywarp screaming. Thundercracker has a very stoic look. I don't know if the same as Starscream's, but it's fairly emotionless.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would want a Thundercracker because I am a sucker. Even after all I've said about those, I'm still not picked up a Thundercracker I was super crazy about, so I'm constantly looking for a better Thundercracker. Like, the closest I came was that leader one from the Jetfire, and that's just because that was in the comic.
Oh, yeah.
But the Skywarp, I mean, they both look good for what they are.
I mean, they look like Starscream, just different colored, which is what they are. So, you know. They're fine.
Yeah. Like, they're not breaking the mold or anything.
No, these are two odd releases. Like, I don't know why they're doing the clones, at least Pounce and Wingspan, as like a 2-pack when they technically have already released them. And why they're releasing them under the Earthrise line. To me, it doesn't make sense. It almost feels like Japan either had a backlog or extra stock to just give Hasbro to sell, or maybe they seized it. I don't know. It's an odd choice. It doesn't make sense to me.
Like, it's kind of funny looking at the pictures here because they clash with Thundercracker and Skywarp.
Yeah, you can tell these two toys from a very different line.
Yeah, like the detail level is very, very different.
Yeah.
So hey, if you want your Seeker Triad, whatever you want to call it, in their Earth forms, they're there now. And hey, at least it's a way of getting the 2 lads who arguably have better color schemes than Starscream, without all that battle damage nonsense.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, it doesn't look like they've got any woo on them, so that's a plus.
But yeah, so there is that. Andy, any thoughts?
Like I say, it's weird. I get why they're doing Thundercracker and Skywarp as a 2-pack. I don't agree with it. It's weird that they are exclusives, aren't they? 2-packs. Yeah.
Walmart.
I find it weird that they are exclusives because most people. Okay, Pounce and Wingspan, fair enough, but Thundercracker and Skywarp, like you said, are ones that most people would probably want to grab. Not everyone, but most people. I heard some people say, well, why didn't they just put Starscream in there as well? And I thought, nah, that would never happen because it's like a Bumblebee, an Optimus Prime, and a Megatron. They're always going to be in the main waves because they assume we don't have enough of them.
It would be absolutely bizarre to have Starscream in an exclusive set.
Yeah.
Unless it was like, hey, there's the Starscream there. Here's a slightly repainted Starscream.
Oh, God. That'd be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Take us on then, Andy.
Yeah, 2 little bits of information, or images, I should say, as we got some Transformers Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventures, which used to just be Cyberverse, but okie dokie. We got some design artwork from Leo Chiola, I think is how you say the name. Apologies if that's not quite right. We have it's basically stuff from season 3. So we have the Quintesson scientist and prototype scientist, and there's also the Quintesson judge and prosecutor. So we have some sketches of faces, some Quintesson body and how the tentacles and all that would work. The weird snaky thing that looks like it's from the Matrix.
Yeah, that's the prosecutor.
And then more things that look like they're like a cross between the Matrix and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'd say, with the Krang.
Yeah, that's the scientist.
Yeah. What do you think of these, Mikey?
I like them. Well, I really like the designs for the Quintessons in that season.
Yes.
So they're quite fun. It looks like the Quintesson judge. They're talking about the toy. Because those panels are not a thing in the show.
Okay.
But the scientist was one of my favorite additions to the season, and like seeing the other designs they could have gone for, in my opinion, they went with the right one. And yeah, that little squirmy thing, that's the basic idea. Spoilers for season 3, but the basic idea is that the big body is what you think is his main body, and he's got like an infinite number of copies, and then the tiny little squirmy thing is the real guy hidden away in another part of the building, who gets squashed by Wheeljack underfoot.
Oh no.
He actually steps in him and murders him.
Oh no.
Season 3 don't care, man.
Yeah, all right.
But yeah, no, like I really like the designs. I like the design aesthetic for them, so it's cool to me. I mean, you've never seen these before. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, they're definitely nice designs, funky designs, which I like. I think they look good. I still think they look like a superior design to be 2D rather than in 3D, personally. But yeah, it's not a bad take on the Quintessons as a race.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's before you go into what they actually do, because what they do in the show is fucking nuts.
Okay, all right.
They're fucking insane.
Yeah. Cool.
I can't stop emphasizing how much people should watch Cyberverse Season 3, because it just doesn't care.
Yeah. The problem is I find that still Season 2 just does nothing for me.
Yeah, but you haven't seen Season 3.
Can I skip Season 2 and just jump to 3?
I mean, largely.
Okay, so I don't need any. I won't lose any context if I just jump to 3, right?
Trying to think if there's because like it opens with a bit of a couple of battles, which kind of just sort of says basically they fight on so Season 3's on Cybertron.
Yeah.
And is mostly isolated into like. I don't think you're gonna lose anything by not knowing everything about Cheetor's character, because he's boring as fuck in Season 2.
Yeah.
I think you'd be fine in all honesty.
Yeah, because when I stopped, it was very focused on Starscream's crazy, and he wants to get the Allspark and have it all for himself, and that's just like, okay.
I'm going to say Starscream's still crazy, but it has nothing to do with the Allspark.
Fair play. Right, well, that's all of our news for this week, Mr. Mikey. Unless you've got anything in your little special sack for me.
No, my sack is drained.
Hey, then what have you been up to this week, Mikey? What have you done for fun? Anything?
Looked out the window and contemplating the slowly encroaching dread of the end of the world. But
hooray!
Yay! Let's see. Finished Outer Worlds.
Oh yes.
Much shorter game than I was expecting.
How long did it take you to clock it?
18 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
Considering it's it's constantly touted as a Fallout game and a copy of Fallout and everything else, it's way shorter than I was expecting. So I need, that really surprised me. I liked the ending. There's 3 endings. I got the what's considered the good ending. I looked at the other 2 online because I don't think I really feel like replaying it. But I liked it. It's it does feel like you have influenced the world. It does feel like the characters have been changed by your actions. Like, yeah, basic gameplay is solid. Nothing crazy in terms of gunplay. It works. The side missions are usually enjoyable because they're a little repetitive, but they do have good narrative stuff around them. And for me, the big thing is the crew. The crew are a really driving thing for making this basically better than Fallout and games like that, which tend to have, like, here's a companion. By the way, this companion can just normally die, and it won't matter. And really, they got no narrative function or anything like that. The companions in Outer World can't die except on like super hard difficulties or something like that. If they get taken out in battle, they get revived after the battle's over. And yeah, they're always there. They're always commenting on what you're doing. You can have chats with them. You can find out different parts of their lives. Couple of standouts. Again, Parvati is kind of the mainstay. You have options to be mean to her. I don't know how people select those options. And look at themselves in the mirror before they go to sleep at night. I'd say Parvati, Max, and Nyoka have the best characters and the best companion missions. They're also the longest. They go on overall. Like, you can't complete Parvati's until you're in endgame.
Oh,
okay. But you started very early. And the same could be said for Max and Nyoka's you get in the last quarter of the game. Whereas the other companions like Ellie, Sam the robot, and Felix, their missions are much less complicated and much shorter. And I feel like, from what I hear, a lot was cut from the game, and I'm wondering if a lot of the extra stuff they were supposed to have got cut.
Right.
And like Sam doesn't, he's just like a maintenance droid you've hacked to be able to shoot acid. He doesn't have much to do. He's basically just there kind of if you need to get through an area fast, his special attack is really good. But no, I'd say if you want not a crazy long game, but one that's not super short either, it's honestly worth a dig in, because it's a way of getting that kind of kick from that Fallout style game without having to do with all the bullshit of a Fallout game.
Okay.
Or a Fallout style game. There's no, like, the maps are small and manageable. There's not an infinite number of collectibles. There's not an infinite number of items. There's just all the stuff that makes those games like Fallout, Skyrim, and everything else really tedious for me. This game manages to avoid a lot of it. Like, probably my biggest knock would be there's not a lot of enemy variety, and like I'd only say one real boss fight in the whole game.
Okay.
But no, honestly, I think Outer Worlds it's generally worth a bit of a tickle.
It sounds like it's only a one-time play kind of thing, and
for me it is. Other people will play it multiple times, because apparently the creators went out of their way to make sure there's like a ton of options for dialogue and stuff that you really won't be able to see in one playthrough. But for me, if I came back to it, it would be a year from now or something like that, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, game-wise, I didn't do much else, did I? I'm just thinking. No, not really. Played a bit of Ape Escape.
Wow, that's a bastard old game.
Ape Escape 2, technically. Wow, I forgot how bad the dub was on that.
Oh no.
They're all very, very Cockney.
Really? I wouldn't have guessed that.
It sounded like it was dubbed by the same team who used to do stuff like Dennis the Menace or something like that.
Oh no.
And like, yeah. Now, so it's like, all right, Hikaru, mate, we've got a thing. I just like, that's generally how one of the characters sounds. I'm not taking the piss. That's one of their accents. Also, the protagonist is an idiot.
Okay.
He's an absolute idiot. But yeah, replayed the Final Fantasy VII demo as well, which was like my fastest playthrough of it. Like, I've done like I went. It took me an hour the first time, and it took me about 20 minutes the second time. No, this would be the third time. Just because you figure out the mechanics and everything else. TV wise, it's been fairly busy. Because hey, I've had stuff to do. It's just our time to see stuff. So continuing on DS9, I'm in around. I ease back a bit in that now. I'm in the middle of season 2.
Okay.
Last one I watched was Armageddon Game, the start of the Bashir bromance.
Yeah, well, arguably the second. The first one was the storyteller, but
yeah. But
they lean heavier into it in Armageddon Game, and it's not a bad episode. Apparently, it was meant to have a much higher budget, as they were meant to like dart between buildings, but then obviously they were told that hey, you're just gonna sit here in this one building as O'Brien dies.
Yeah,
because O'Brien must suffer.
Yes, because his name is like I think the next episode up is the one where he thinks everyone's against him as well.
Oh, that's a really good episode as well. I really like that one.
Why do you all hate me? We don't hate you. It's fine. Go to sleep.
No problems. Yep.
But yeah, but that's a really dark idea. It's like, we need to prevent World War III. How? We're going to murder everyone who knows about World War II.
Yeah, it's not the best kind of solution that they could come up with, really.
No. It's also slightly funny to me, is like, you've got the end where Cisco's in the runabout, and he's just like, you can't outfight us, Captain. Or Commander. Or just like, oh, well, I'll die trying, blah, blah. I'm just like, this had been a year from now. And if he'd pulled out the Defiant, like, you can't outfight us, Captain.
Decloaks.
Open fire.
Shit.
Blow those motherfuckers out of the sky.
Did you find it weird that this is like one of the only times where Keiko shows that she cares about miles, and it's
And then
one
she
of
get it
those.
wrong.
Yeah, yeah, she got it wrong because of course she did. Because it's like he never changes his schedule. He's a human being, of course he can.
And he's
What are
like,
you doing?
I drink coffee all the time.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
well, you
also
only
like-
drink it this time. Yeah, but believe it or not, I'm working hard. I didn't have time, so I pushed it back.
Yeah, I would also say, like, if a grieving widow burst into my office and said, "Quick, my husband's alive, I know, because he's drinking coffee at the wrong time," I maybe wouldn't do what Cisco did and go, "Right, clearly she's right."
Would you have been more, bitch, get the fuck out of my office, you're wasting my time.
Throw a baseball at her head.
That's why he has it there.
Yeah, just bounce it off people who annoy him. But it's
Get
it's
out of
like,
my room.
that was a moment where you could say, and I can feel the script.
Yeah.
Like also one I thought I'd like more and ended up kind of not liking. It was the first one that introduced Dr. Morrow, the doctor who used to work with Odo.
Oh, okay, you didn't like that one.
I thought I remember liking it a lot, and then I rewatched it and just like maybe it's the lines or the performance, but that actor feels very theater.
Okay, yeah, I can
performed-
see that.
And also, it made me realize at no point, like, we know, because you and I have watched a lot of the show, that the reason Odo is lashing out is because Morrow's experiments were, from his point of view, torture.
Yeah.
And Morrow is so into his work, even after all that's happened, even after realizing everything he must have done to this poor creature, it's never really sunk in that he tortured him. And that's never mentioned in the episode.
Well,
You
it
just
wouldn't
know
be.
there's a lot, but you'd feel like where he's screaming like, "What? You can't trust anyone but you," and we're just like, "Trust you after what you did to me," or something like that.
Yeah.
Instead, there's just like, kill you.
But you got to remember, at that point, it wasn't. They'd probably no idea that was the road that they were going down.
Yeah, but then in which case, I really feel they should have had some. It just kind of. It felt like Odo was just being this prick to a guy because he said, "You're not my real dad," took all his stuff and ran away from home.
But it does make that's why it's good later on, because it does kind of, it makes more sense because it builds on why there is such animosity between them. Rather than, like you say, he just wanted to get out there, like, I'm a teenager kind of thing. Like you say, there's legit reason. But yes, if you take it as a standalone, it doesn't make as much sense. But I do think it does build on it quite well. And it's not a bad stepping stone.
No, but it's one where I feel like the writer who came next when I can use this.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But yeah, oh, completely took me by surprise. April Fool's Day, Adult Swim released a new episode of Primal.
Yeah, and it wasn't a joke. They actually did it.
No, it was great. They actually had to put up a post saying, "This is not a joke. We've released a new episode." It's listed as episode 6, but apparently someone confirmed it was actually episode 8, which would explain how there's no follow-up from episode 5, which was where the last one ended. And it's kind of one that people are feeling there should be follow-up on. So I think, given the subject matter, I think that's why it got released and why it got released on April Fool's Day. The subject matter is a plague that infects through a lack of social distancing.
Oh.
So I think that was the joke. Basically a zombie dinosaur plague.
Yes, you do.
It is horrific. It is one of the most visual grit. Like, you know when people say something is gritty? This is gritty. This is horror as well. There's some extreme violence in the first half of the episode, and the rest of the episode is a chase.
Okay.
It's a chase. Basically, what happens when something that weighs 100 tons no longer cares about pain and wants to rip you to shreds simply out of a pure, unyielding rage. And you
can't. Not good.
No, and you don't have a gun. You don't have a tank. You have arms and teeth. So it's a really. I tell people this all the time, but please go out of your way to watch Primal. It is something else. This was brutal, and it still worked in some real feeling at the end as well. Like, there was some real sympathy there. The transformation of the poor old dinosaur who gets bitten is really cool, up to and including the bit where he's projectile vomiting blood.
It's not like a Sailor Moon transformation scene.
No. Sailor Moon.
It does it turns the body white and then it kind of disappears and there's just like missing flesh.
Yeah, but what I wanted is that instead of doing the pose, it should just be like, now Resident Evil zombie. But yeah, no, it's really, it is out there on the internet, so it is findable. Oh god, they've confirmed the rest of the series won't come out until later in the year, and oh, come on.
Is it meant to be like 12 episodes or something?
Yeah, so
Okay.
there's about 5 or 6 left to go.
So basically what you're actually telling me is don't bother
Shut up.
watching it until it all comes out.
No, because
I wasn't going to do the whole season 2 thing. That was
Yeah.
I've done that joke already today.
But I would say it's not narratively structured, so you do not. I would say you gain by watching it. Like there's very little follow through between the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really.
But if
worth
I
watching.
wait, I can watch all of them.
But if you don't, you can watch it now.
Yeah, I can wait.
Watch the fucking show.
I don't know if I like it, so I can wait. And then I can watch it all.
I will come over and hug you and therefore infect you.
That's fine. I have nothing to lose.
Standing outside, like grabbing strangers. Cough on me. I feel fine. Cough on me. Big one. DuckTales season 3 episode 1 aired.
I thought, like, Tricky told me 1 and 2 had aired. Is it only 1?
I saw 1. I don't know if 2 came out.
Maybe I misheard him.
At first it seemed very standalone, and then at the end of the episode, it's like, oh, okay, we're setting up some kind of plot.
Was it good?
Series. Yeah, I laughed a lot. It's Huey and Violet. It's about.
Which one's Violet?
Violet's the purple bird, the nerd bird.
Oh yeah, Webby's friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're competing to be senior woodchucks. And Lena, Lena, Webby's other friend, give Violet advice about how to talk smack. So Violet's a very technical Einstein-sounding child.
Yes,
so
I was thinking that wouldn't work.
She'll go by saying like, "I was told to tell you you're a rotten chump. Is that good smack?" And like at one point, because Huey's like breaking down because he doesn't have his manual, so he's actually like imagining a woodchuck guide is floating behind him, telling him what to do. And she thinks, "Oh no, I've broken him with the power of my smack." Oh dear. Meanwhile, Scrooge is trying to take everyone else on an adventure, and that adventure is being interrupted by an annoying bird who is leading. And there's a bit where a bear attacks, and he's just like, "Oh my god, it's the such and such bear, blah blah blah." Just like, we're following the bird. Don't you want to die fighting this creature? And like Scrooge is holding the thing off with one arm, and it's just like, no, we don't. Oh. Well, that's no fun. But no, like it's not exactly the best episode the show's ever produced, but it's very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's obviously it's nice for it to even just come back. It's now back. It means it'll start rolling on and start more fun adventures, which we can all enjoy and laugh at.
Yep. I also, because this has been on my sort of back burner for years, I watched a couple of episodes of Love, Death and Robots.
I was really concerned you were going to say Love Island.
Not yet. We're not that bad. But so for anyone who doesn't know, this is an anthology animated series that is on Netflix. So it has every episode has something to do with love, death, and robots. It's all aimed 18 plus. The whole point of it was to be an SFW. So there's quite a lot of quite a lot of nudity. Quite a lot of nudity. Quite a lot of violence and quite a lot of robots, but I cannot emphasize the amount of nudity and the almost disturbing amount of sexual violence. But a lot of rape in these. A lot of rape.
Is it to combat the amount of rape that was in Game of Thrones? Because it feels like Game of Thrones was like, here's some rape, and then TV went, let's double down on this.
I don't know. Like apparently, it's all adaptations of existing stories. But
okay.
from what I could tell, a lot of these stories came out around the time the Game of Thrones books did.
Oh no, I might be right, and me being right is the worst thing.
Who can say how much Game of Thrones fucked up a lot of narratives? Like its own. But yeah, so it's an anthology series. Some of the animation's 3D, most of it's 3D. Some of it's photorealistic 3D, some of it's stylized 3D, some of it's 2D. It got rave audience reviews and mixed critical reviews when it came out. And so I dipped in. I watched about half of it. There's 18 episodes. They're all very variable. Like the shortest episode is 6 minutes. Also, apparently there's different viewing orders depending on your account. But I basically sort of found something that said, these are the ones that you should watch or not watch, and I tried a few both. So there was one which was about werewolf soldiers in Afghanistan, which was terrible. Really like hyper photorealistic animation to the point where I read a review later on that said the same thing. Why did you even bother doing this in animation? Really didn't like the computer graphics in that at all. Also, it was the most stereotypical hoorah, I'm a Marine. Oh look, we're doing racism but with werewolves. And then a hyper violent fight.
Were they like all werewolves are bad? Because I'd be like, well,
yeah,
maybe.
all werewolves are bad, and they're the two werewolf soldiers saying, "We're not bad, sir." And then, hey, let's endear us to these characters by having one talk over the comms about fucking his friend's sister. Because hoorah!
Was it written by
Hoorah,
Eli
sir.
Roth? Jesus.
You know what? It kind of felt like it. I mean, the fight scene has some cool bits in it because it's like Taliban werewolves versus military werewolf.
What?
It's this feels mildly racist, I'll be honest, but yes, a pair of Taliban werewolves.
That's weird.
It's very weird, especially like one of the werewolves is super old, so it's like this old like. Nyeh. I mean, the transformation's kind of cool because it's one of those ones where Helsing did something similar, where it, like tears the skin off,
Okay.
like just sort of erupts from under the skin, which is something I've always liked. I also watched Suits, which was a really fun one. Farmers protecting their cattle and crops from alien parasite monster things with really like built at home style mech suits. And it's quite fun. I mean, the action is not the best because it's mostly them just standing still firing. But it's a fun one, and there's a little bit of heart to it. I watched a couple of other ones, but the standout one, there was one about a sort of kitsune who, because of industrialization, loses her powers, gets turned into a sex slave, then gets captured because for some reason in the early 20th century they had advanced robotics, gets turned into a sex slave, then gets kidnapped by a guy who can only fuck machines, and has her unwillingly turned into a cyborg to the point only her brain and face are left, and then he rapes her repeatedly until she murders him, and then her old boyfriend built her a robot body that can turn into a fox again, and for some reason insisted on putting nipples on the new robot body. Like, I get why the sex slave version has nipples. I don't get why the version, which is her, which she then uses to go out and murder rapists, by the way.
What, the nipples?
Yeah, the fox body.
Oh, not the nipples.
The nipples are just superfluous.
Okay.
Except there's a really awkward scene where he's like picking up her breast to put on her chest, and like someone was just like, and now we need to make sure these are sculpted. This like apparently this whole idea originally came from wanting to reboot heavy metal, and I'm just like, I can see it. But the standout one, the absolute like, this is the one I would say on its own is worth watching, was Sunny's Edge, which is kind of a really violent version of Pokemon. About a lady called Sunny who, guess what, Andy?
She raped.
She was gang raped and beaten and cut in the face many times with a knife, but she's still hot. And her friend, for some reason, wears a jacket and nothing under the jacket, but the jacket's open all the time, so she must have like the jacket pasted to her breasts.
No, it'd be the double-sided sellotape or something,
Probably.
right over the nips.
I did that, like, or because it's like sci-fi, because it's sci-fi London as well. So there's probably like maybe her nipples have little hands and they're just holding the jacket.
That'd be horrifying. Instead of having nipples, they have little hands there. Oh God.
But they're in sort of a monster fight ring. So they have these bioengineered hyper monsters things that they basically jack into mentally and pilot. And the whole story is Sunny's one, which is Carnivore. Not Carnivore, Khan as in Genghis. Ivor. Who's kind of like a cross between a dog, a Komodo dragon, and an octopus. Quite a cool design in all honesty. And like they just have the basic story is they have a fight. And then there's a twist at the end. Sunny's Edge. Why? Because Sunny never loses. Sunny has won 17 matches out of 17. Why can't she lose? And she says, oh, it's because I'm the only woman piloting. And spoiler, it's not. There is something else going on with that. But really good fight scene. Really, really good fight scene if you're into monster fights. Some good twists and turns to it. And there's some really cool visuals. And like I said, there's a good twist at the end. I'd like to read the story that one's actually based on. See if they've changed much. But I don't know if I'd say I recommend Love, Death and Robots.
Okay.
It's just, I would say find a friend who's watched it and ask them to recommend the ones that are worth watching. That anything else, I would say, because there's just 18 episodes on of what I've seen. I'd say you're looking at half or below average, and like the there is an almost creepy level of sexual abuse in these. Like, I usually wouldn't pay much attention to it because it's like, okay, you're working in it's a narrative, how you do it, blah blah blah. Look at the wonderful world of television today. But this is, at times, I'm really uncomfortable how deep into they go. Also, like, there's a weird scene with the werewolf thing where for some reason he runs out naked into the desert to fight the other werewolves who are also naked, which feels very strange to me that in the middle of all this they'd be concerned about their clothes. We are about to rip each other out in half, but this is my favorite shirt.
I mean, to be fair, if it is your favorite shirt, you don't want it ruined. Let's be fair.
Let's be fair. The reason they did it is because they wanted to have a full frontal 3D, significantly side male wang flopping about, which is the same reason they have a lot of women taking their clothes off, because they want to have the significant boobage. Because none of the women who take their tops off are like A-cups.
Is this like the new thing? Instead of like there being side boob, it's now side dong. Is that the thing with the ladies?
There was no side.
It was just nothing but dong.
There is at least one scene in this that is basically porn.
Yay!
You see everything but the in and out, but you see before the in and out and like horrible fat man with erection is how to describe that scene.
Oh no, they went for the Japanese ugly bastard tag.
Yeah, very much so.
No.
Caught up on Kamen Rider 01.
Okay.
So up to episode 30 now. Introduced Rampage Vulcan in one of the best fight scenes the show's done. Very, very good fight scene. Interesting suit, but very good fight scene. And basically ended the tournament arc, thank Christ. Because I'm after finding out that a lot of people on the internet don't like Thouser, but for me, I'm just like, okay, tournament arc went on too long. Went on about 5 episodes too long.
I think you said this last week as well.
Yeah. Feeling hasn't changed. But now they're on to a new arc, which is Thouser has now consolidated hidden intelligence, and he wants to take out all the human gear, so Aruto wants to team up with the bad guys to save the robots. We got an interesting fight, not the best fight they've ever done, but it's got some good bits. But there's some good character work here, and a bit more focus on Jin, who hasn't really done much since he came back. And now they're sort of like, I'm very curious as to how exactly he came back, because something weird is going on with him. So yeah, but no, good stuff still. I watched an episode of an anime called Listeners. Have you ever heard of Listeners?
I have not.
So it's a new series done by Madhouse. Basic premise is in a kind of, there's a musical robot mecha group, basically, called Players. Like, everything's tied into music. Like, they power their mechs by having earphone jacks that go into some part of their body. And they apparently fight with sound. And there's these creatures called the Earless, who are these kaiju-sized shadows, for want of a better term.
Okay.
And a boy, he's working in a really horrible place where it's like the motto is life is work and work is life. And don't have a dream is literally part of the town slogan. And
that's my slogan as well.
He's really into the whole player scene. He meets a girl. She turns out to be a player. The Earless attack, and it turns out he's been secretly building one of these mechs in his basement for ages.
It sounds like this lad had a dream.
Yeah, but he was told not to have a dream.
Exactly.
By an old, angry mayor.
Oh, no.
Who was a very old Japanese mayor, just like, by God, 10 years ago, life was fucked up, and I learned not to have joy.
Did the young guy say, okay, boomer?
He should have. There's actually a bit where he goes, where part of the slogan is, never look up, only look down, only look forward, never look anywhere else. Little bit concentration campy, but no, it's got good animation because Madhouse. But I'm intrigued. I'm probably going to watch a few more episodes. But yeah, there were the other two things, because I've been going on a bit. There are two big things. We have a new Trigger series, and we have a new Digimon season.
Oh, has that started? Is it?
Yep. So I'll do the Digimon one first because that's the shortest. It is the 20th anniversary series, so they decided to do a reboot of Digimon Adventure, the original show. They've changed the premise up a lot. Going by the intro in this episode, it's going to be a lot more focused on Taichi than the previous seasons were. So going by the intro alone, this is the Taichi and Agumon show, which, he was the most prominent character before, but it wasn't to the point of where I felt the other characters were taken out of the ensemble.
Right.
We're not even. I saw one person say they thought it was a good thing because now we get to meet each individual character, but there's only one other of the group that's given any kind of character in this one, and it's not bad character, but it is basically, it feels a bit more shonen-y. Here is your protagonist, boom. And even the promo stuff, if you look at the old promo stuff, he was never in the forefront of a lot of shots, and here he's in the front of everything. It's an okay episode. A lot of people are freaking out about it and go oh my god, it's so good. I there's no insert song, which was a problem for me. The music is kind of generic. It's very plot focused, which is fine. It's kind of setting up some of the problems this world is going to face, but it doesn't really do, in my opinion, a great job of setting up the character of Taichi for new people. I can say, based on what they're saying, they're saying he's brave. That's kind of the big thing here. But I'm not sure if that's me having foreknowledge or reading the subtext,
Yeah.
One thing I've really got to give it big. None of this is oh god, it was terrible. It was actually pretty solid, but I'm being conservative and everything. One thing I really have to praise, though, is the action animation. Best the series I've ever had.
Oh.
Hey, it's a Digimon show with a fucking budget.
Oh. I'm guessing that's a bit unusual.
A bit unusual. No stock footage as far as I can tell on this.
Yeah.
So far, anyway. No. But there is a proper backflips, firing fireballs constantly fight scene with no repeat footage. And then they have the evolution scene, which I guarantee you they're not going to do it like this twice, but it's really worth watching just to see how it's done. I would say YouTube just Agumon evolution, and it's genuinely, that's very good animation. And then they have Greymon in a full-on fight. Not Greymon flips something, has a few stock footage shots because we can't afford to animate things constantly. He's in a proper fight, which is outside of Try is a first. This is the first time they've done it to this level, because of the nature of the show. Savers probably had the biggest budget beforehand, and that did a lot of standing around, reusing stock footage and slow images and stuff like that. Static shots being dragged across scenes. This is very energetic. It's worth a look. I think it's worth a look if you're into Digimon. I'm very curious to see where it goes. Yeah, and like I said, the at least get a look at the animation one way or the other. Really, really recommend that. And the other thing is BNA, Brand New Animal, which is a new series by Trigger. 6 episodes of this came out about a week ago, but it hasn't technically started airing yet. They got released early on Netflix. So it's a Trigger show. I'll just tell you, it looks like a Trigger show. There's some real fun fight scenes in this. Not a lot of fight scenes, but there's some real fun. There's a very good baseball match, which I think you especially will love.
Okay, that's interesting.
It reminds me of some early episodes of Kill la Kill and some of the visuals.
Okay.
Never as crazy as the visual of Kill la Kill, but there. Basic premise is this is a world where humans and beastmen have both exist. Beastmen have been in hiding for years, and they came out of hiding, and a lot of humans want to murder them, so they've been given a city of their own. And our protagonist is a character called Michiru, who is a Tanuki, and she is moving to the city. It turns out she's a human who suddenly turned into a beast, and this shouldn't be possible. So the plot is, how did she turn this way?
Does she have giant testicles?
No, but she can shapeshift, so she can give herself giant testicles if she'd like.
Okay. Well, she's a Tanuki, so.
She denies she's a Tanuki for a lot of it. She's insisting she's a raccoon.
Why would she deny she's a Tanuki? Is it a Tanuki stigma?
People keep asking her that, and she's never given them a straight answer.
Okay.
And the other main character is Shiro. He is a beastman who is a wolf, who is also unusual in the fact he won't fucking die.
All right.
He's incredibly strong, and he seems to be functionally immortal. He's quite biased against humans, so they have a little bit of an awkward relationship. And yeah, there's like a dodgy company. It's got some dark themes. This one, it's got human trafficking, racism are kind of big things in this. It's also got a beluga who's a gang war, like a mobster. And his daughter has an interesting episode, which ends up quite a little dark at the end. But right now I'm like sitting. It's being written by the guy who did Kill la Kill, which obviously is something to pay attention to. But right now I'm thinking this is probably a 12 episode anime, and it feels like it should be longer. Because if this was sitting at episode 6 of 24, I'd be saying we're probably into something fucking special. This is sitting at 6 at probably 12, and what I feel is this will be a good show. It will not go down as one of Trigger's more memorable shows.
Would you say it's still worth watching though, even though we technically only have like maybe half of the show out at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's like for the visuals alone, there's some very good acting. The characters are all very endearing. Again, mobster beluga. Yeah, no, I absolutely say it's worth watching.
Some people would say that is about Gridman as well. That it's not one of the memorable ones, right? I'd say. Well,
those people would call fucking idiots. Who says this, and what is their phone number, please?
I'm sure I've seen people online who are like, yeah, Gridman's just meh.
To be fair, I've seen people who looked at Albert Einstein and said he was an all-right mathematician.
I've also seen people that just say that Kill la Kill was okay as well, and I was like,
I will fucking murder them. Where? No, I'll play jokes in Gridman because I fucking love Gridman, but I'll play jokes in Gridman. But no, you can't. No, I mean I saw someone say Kill la Kill had bad animation once, and
Where?
I just everywhere. It's just so cheap. Look at all the static shots.
Okay.
They don't know what stylization is, Andy. They don't know. They don't get it.
No.
Fucking idiots. So that was my week.
Okay.
Basically, me trying to expand the show as much as possible because I've got nothing else to do and I don't want to talk to anyone else.
Jesus.
Andy, what about you?
Again, it's just kind of been my usual week. I've done more blood boning. Been putting them up on the YouTubes. I also did a podcast with Mr. George, Exaggerated Elegy, for his show. I'm not actually sure if it's for the Fluff and Hammer or for his own podcast. Where we talk about Bloodborne and Dark Souls and all those kind of things and our thoughts and feelings on them and all that kind of jazz. I don't think it's up as of yet, but when it goes up, I'll put a link to it on ccbunker.weebly.com. If you'd like to have a listen, because both me and George really enjoy those games and the fiction and the mythology and all that kind of stuff behind them as well. So that was fun. That was a nice little different thing. In terms of things I've watched, I watched the very popular at the moment, because everyone's fucking talking about it, and this is leading back around to the start of the show, Tiger King. Have you heard of the Tiger King, Mikey? Murder, Mayhem, and Madness?
Haven't seen it. Have heard of it, and I having seen a picture, I've seen that guy in a Louis Theroux once.
Yes, yeah. This is the documentary. I don't know how true it is because I always think like these documentaries can be exaggerated for the effect of the documentary, but it's the documentary series on a guy called Joey Exotic, who and many other big cat small zoo owners, shall we call them?
Oh god, that lot.
Yeah, they're fucking nuts. Like, Jesus, Mikey, it's one of those shows where you just keep watching and you're like, it's not going to get crazy, and you're like, it just keeps getting crazier. If it is all true, it just gets nuttier and nuttier, and these people are like, it's fascinating to watch. And even if it's not all true, and even if it is exaggerated, and I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying if it is, it made for a very interesting story that's worth watching. It's so far 7 episodes. I don't know if they're doing more. I would say give it a watch because it's one of those shows where you just watch and you go, this is how some people live, maybe, and that's bizarre. And there's me who collects children's toys, and these people are like breeding giant cats and have their own small harems and whatnot of actual women, because women love giant cats. It seems it's like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. It's mad. I'd say give it a watch if you got Netflix or a way to watch Netflix stuff. So it's Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and Madness. But I think most people are watching it or have watched it at this point because it's getting memed fucking a lot at the moment.
Yeah.
It's getting memed to hell.
Yeah.
Because people are just like, this stuff's weird.
I mean, real question, just because it's something I'm interested in. Did they talk about how the tiger, they don't know anything about what they're doing?
What you mean? Oh, you mean about them as
big cat keepers?
No, there is kind of the implication that they're just treating them like they don't have professional training. There's nowhere in the documentary that suggests they do, but they don't go out of their way to say they don't know what the fuck they're doing, as it were.
I have looked into that side of things, and there's a lot of I'm treating it like a big pet, a big money-making pet sometimes.
Yes, there is that, but it does seem that they have some caution to it, but not like a huge amount.
Not a
just
sensible
a bit.
amount, perhaps.
No, I wouldn't say a sensible amount.
Because I also saw one time someone was being interviewed by them, like, oh, well, I'm contributing to conservation by breeding them, and it turned out he was breeding 2 different species of tigers together.
Oh, right.
You're not really helping the issue.
No.
You're just creating a hybrid.
Apparently, there's a lot more tigers in America in captivity than there are in the wild, which I thought was sad and funny.
Which is actually one of the problems for people in conservation is that if they went, because what they originally were thinking, they'd use that stock to breed Siberians and Bengals and everything else to release them into the wild.
Yeah.
And now it turns out that if you did take the DNA from those tigers, they're mixed up. They're like 6 or 7 different species, all mixed into one.
Ah, right.
So the stock's mixed, shall we say. Now, ultimately, I think if it came down to it, you're better off having a tiger in Siberia than necessarily the tiger.
Yes.
But people if people are looking for the pure strains, anything those people say about being involved in conservation is politely put hogwash.
Oh, okay.
But I guess it's a complicated thing when you get into the side of things. But how did the murder work into it? Did they feed someone to a tiger?
There are implications that one of the conservation people, who is a lady who's presented to be at first to be a very good person, it's strongly hinted that her millionaire husband, who mysteriously disappeared, there seems to be implications that she may have had something to do with it. Though there is no solid evidence. That's how the documentary presents the evidence, and that's what a lot of people's opinion is.
I bet she
whether it's true or not, I don't know. Obviously, but it's worth a watch.
Too, by the way, the other side of the fence. A lot of the conservationist sides are equally as crazy as a lot of the people on the other side of things.
Yeah. The documentary kind of equates them to be the same side of the coin, very similar, because they are making money from the tigers anyway that they have, because they make people come in and pay a ticket fee, to keep it going, and they get volunteers to work for free. Work a lot of hours for no money, effectively. They don't breed them as per se, and they don't do the whole here's a tiny lion cub, have a photo with it like a lot of them. But there's still some. It feels kind of dirty on all sides. It feels like everyone's fucking crazy in this documentary in some form or another. It's really worth a watch. It's fascinating to see crazy people do nutty things. At least from my perspective, they're kind of crazy. But what do I know? So I've been watching that. That's been quite entertaining. What else? Blah 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 blah. Was there anything else I've watched? I don't think so. Oh, I watched Isekai Quartet Season 2. I've done all 12 episodes of that. They're only 10-minute episodes or something like that, so you burn through it fairly quickly, but because it's a small comedy show and the comedy works for me, I find it very enjoyable. Maybe not as enjoyable as Season 1, but it was still a lot of fun. And it shows more of I think the anime that shines best from the 4 that they pull from is Konosuba, as all of those characters are still, they're not like the ones from Overlord who are meant to be like these super overpowerful beings and now put in a comedy situation and now they're funny. It's like the I'd even say ReZero's characters work well there because without the dire situations, this is how they act anyway. But
Yeah.
Konosuba, like, they just act like this anyway. They act like assholes, and it's always
what they do.
good. Yeah, yeah. Did you see season 1? I can't remember.
Yes, I saw season 1.
Okay, definitely worth seeing season 2. There's more Aqua, so you'll be happy.
She is a good girl.
She's really not. Kazuma does some really good fun dick moves in it though, and I still think the relationship between him and Subaru is just perfect because they make legitimately good friends.
Yeah, but their thing where Cosmo's just like, yeah, you're great. I fucking hate you now.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm stuck with all these women, and it's like, oh my god, the women you have are so good compared to mine.
But don't they have a thing where he's being like, which one? One of them is like watching him sleep. I remember that.
Oh, I can't. Do you mean in the actual anime, or do you mean in the Isekai Quartet?
I don't know actually.
Oh,
I can't.
okay.
It's gotten to that stage. I can't tell where the comedy ends and the parody ends and the original begins. In some
It'll
places.
probably be the original because all the Isekai Quartet stuff kind of takes place at the school and nowhere else really.
Yeah. But
There-
I
there
really
is-
enjoyed that in season 1 of like they were kind of bonding and just like, what's the hardest thing you have to deal with? And he says, well, I'm not going to tell him I die all the time. So, the girls are really difficult. Yeah, mine too. Yeah, it's hard having two of them in love with you and you're actually kind of in love with both of them as well. And you kind of think they'd both be kind of okay with the whole bigamy thing.
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, great for you. Cut to darkness in the back.
Yeah. Yeah,
These are my female friends.
it's a fun little comedy show. There's a good little bit where someone says something lewd, and Subaru, Kazuma goes, "Why do I feel like someone's staring at me from behind?" And it's just Subaru looking up, just looking directly at the back of Kazuma. Like what? So already they've become that close where it's like, yeah, we know each other. It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I watched that. I'd still recommend it. It's still fun. It's confirmed for a season 3 as well. So I'm not surprised.
How does Naofi work himself into all of it?
He's in one of the other classes. You know how there's they're in class B and there's class A who has Chris and some of the other characters. I think he's in class A.
All right. So he just
So
sort of
he-
wanders in sometimes.
Yeah, he's not a major part of it. It's like Seiya and the other goddess from Overly Cautious Hero. They walk past the school fair, and the goddess is like, "Oh, we should go in and have fun." And it's like, I don't know about the situation here. And he walks off, and she's being dragged along, saying, "I want to have fun." It's like, no, we don't know the situation. I must be cautious.
Not safe.
Nope, it's not safe. We have no idea what's going to be going on. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun as well. Was there anything else I watched? I don't think so. Apart from more DS9, of course, which I've said. I got 2 model kits this week as well. Left it in the garage for a few days so it could decontaminate. Then I urinated on it.
Make
just
sure
to
everyone knew
leave
it
my
was
scent.
yours.
Exactly, yeah. So what I got was, have you heard of the 30-minute mission kits, Mikey, from Bandai?
No, those are new to me.
The basic idea is they have the reason they're called 30-minute missions is because they have 30mm ports in them, and 30mm pegs. So the idea is until recently they had a lot of variations of 2 of the same basic molds, just in different colors. And there are accessory packs, whether they're weapon or armor packs, and now there are slightly more advanced versions where they have the basic body. But then they come with, like, the one I have, which is the ground type Alto. So it comes with tank treads, which it can be stored on its back, or you can put them on its feet. As long as there's a peg and a port, you can do some nifty things with it. It comes with a bazooka, which you can split up into a shoulder cannon and a kind of rifle, if you want him to hold it that way, or you can hold it like a big bazooka from Gundam. It's one of those lines where it wants you to buy lots of kit, lots of accessory parts, and then kind of make some kind of crazy design that you're into. They are, like I say, they are getting more visually interesting and more parts, so you can just buy one kit that you're happy with rather than buying lots and lots. because there's the one I have. There's a space one. There's a space one which has like really long legs, and one of the images shows that it can have a like centaur mode, but you need to buy another one of those kits to get that. So it's a neat fun idea. And the kit quality is quite good as well because it's Bandai, so they take the Gundam build mentality and kind of just switch it around. So it's good. The other kit I got was the Gundam Lupus from Iron Blooded Orphans Season 2. And that's a really good kit as well. It's got a good look. It's got maybe a few too many stickers. Oh, one thing with the 30-minute mission stuff is they have no stickers. The best that they come with are like just numbers, so you can number the shoulders as, something like that. It's not essential stickers. The Lupus does have quite a few stickers it needs or could do with. Not to the point where I'm going to stick them on, because they're quite big ones. But it looks really good on its own. It comes with a big sword, but the sword's not... It's more of a club sword. Like, imagine a club, but kind of sort of swordy shaped. Because in Iron Blooded Orphans, it was much more... heavy hitting melee based weapons rather than like beam sabers and stuff. They didn't have that technology in the show, so a lot of it's really heavy blunt force instruments. So if you can imagine like a Gundam's
claws and stuff like that.
That's the Lupus Rex.
Oh,
so that was the final version. So yeah, it had like it's the same base thing, but then they've upgraded it so it had longer arms, it had a tail, it had big claws. It was meant to be a much more feral version of the Lupus, but I like the Lupus more. I like its more normal Gundam proportions and whatnot. The Lupus Rex I thought was a bit too much.
I'm looking at the picture of the Rex, and someone, like, I'm usually up for the animalistic thing, but someone should have stopped designing about an hour or two before they finished.
Yeah, like, it has elements to it if you look at it where you're like, this is interesting. But then, like you say, they just kept going. They went too far. And I was also a bit sick of the Barbatos design being used 4 times because, it got 2 model kits basically in Season 1 and then it got 2 in Season 2. I was like, okay, I've got the first Barbatos and I've got this Lupus version, and I'm like, that's enough. 2 versions. They're different enough. I was happy with that. And I think that's it. Then it's just been a lot of, my usual work of cutting down more things and turning those things into piles of leaves and piles of sticks. That's the week. I've started doing, like, how everyone's like, oh, you need to do your exercise, and technically I should do this during the day. I found it quite nice to do it at night, because then you're not gonna run into any kids or get anybody giving you hacky looks like, oh, you're disease. Because when I walked up to get my model kit package, I saw this mother with the 2 children. Like, it was a fairly wide path. It's like, because it was a slight country path, so it wasn't for roads or anything, for cars or anything. She took her kids right to the far side of the path, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, okay.
She's seen you before, hasn't she?
Yeah, well, she saw me with my hands down my pants, licking my lips, going.
She's crossing the road. All she hears is, "You look pretty."
I like the cut of your jib, love. Then a spat in her mouth. As you do. I didn't, but you could do that. You could see me doing it, couldn't you?
I wish I could say no, but
yeah. So the nighttime walks have become quite nice, and when I say nighttime walks, I mean like once my job is over, which is about 11 o'clock at night, I can then go out for. I don't go out for a huge amount of time because I don't want the cops to pull me over. What you do that not there, mate? But I'm doing like about a 20-minute walk. Like once I do this and once I finish my work tonight, I'll be climbing a hill because we've got quite a big hill. So I'll be walking up that and then walking down just for some. It's something nice. It's also nice to see the. I kind of like. I'm more of a nighttime person anyway, so it's kind of nice to see the stars and whatnot. Even though I've never seen them before in my life. Ha 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 ha. Kill me. Because I live in a town.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
but the thing to do is about 2 o'clock. Go for a jog around like an inhabited area with a hoodie on.
Oh, is that what you do?
And bring a flashlight with you, and you can use that just in case you trip anything. And,
oh right, okay.
You can do a neighborhood watch thing even, and like just quickly flash it in people's windows, make sure they're at home, make sure they're safe.
Yes, true. There's one problem to your little joke here. I don't like jogging or running. I'm happy enough to just walk. I've never been a jogger nor a runner. Like, you want to get me moving? We'll play badminton. That's it.
It's pronounced badminton.
Badminton, lads! Whoa!
I want to see that. I want to see like hardcore street British badminton with like for love, mate.
That'd be shit though, because every few seconds you'd have to pick up the net and walk to the other side of the road so the cars could go by. By the time you set the net back up, it's like gotta move it again.
Yeah, but like but they're really good at it. That's what I want to see. I want to see like really talented people doing this.
Oh, that's terrible.
Flipping off the neighbors as they go by, but like doing Olympic level shots.
So what you want is the chav version of badminton.
God, yes.
Because I guarantee you, like badminton's not, as far as I'm aware, not usually associated with chavs.
But like, I'd love to see like the chav version of a physics lecture.
That would be fascinating.
That'd be amazing.
Really interesting.
And like, I've known scientists who come from like what is called a chav background.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And they are hilarious people, and they know it. Which is why I feel fine saying this, because the last one I met, he was just like, oh mate, you have no idea the stuff I've done. Like, I used to sell so many drugs before I came here. It was great.
Now he can make his own drugs.
Yeah, he's like, I've still got some. But, like...
Mikey just goes, go on.
Tell me more.
Go on.
Yeah, but yeah, no, like, that's Andy's Neighborhood Watch.
Yep, it's coming to you. It's no, it's coming for you. It's coming for you. Did it.
They wake up and just start, I'm just checking to see you're all safe. Are you social distancing? You should be social distancing.
Or just like inches from the face breathing on them while they're in bed.
It's alright.
No. Go to sleep.
Tested
Go to
recently.
Go to sleep. And then I kiss them.
I'm the only hygienic one here. And very slowly leading out the window. Good night.
Then a fart as I crawl out the window. Oh, poop my pants. Oh no.
Oh, pink eye for all.
I'm not hygienic now.
No, clean. Sanitize me. Starts throwing off her clothes. Rub me in it for all our own safety.
It's only a matter of time before the people locked in will become crazy like that.
Oh,
I mean,
like,
it's happened for some.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's absolutely happening.
Oh,
I
yeah.
watched a video of a guy who wanted to see if he could do 100,000 steps in a day.
What inside his house? Or just
inside his house. He made it to 70,000.
How long did that take? Like, was it just going round and around his living room?
Apparently based on the mat, yes, but apparently based on the mats in 16, there's 8,000 and 85,000 seconds in a day or something like that. So you basically have to average 2 steps a second.
Oh my god.
And that's about 65 miles.
That's a lot of steps in it. Like 1 second you gotta get in 2 steps. That's like, okay, maybe you could do that for a bit, but oh jeez. That's like, basically running, right?
The best bit was when he sat down and he then went, he's like, okay, I'll take a 30-second break at like 8 o'clock in the evening. And went to get up. His legs had stopped working.
Oh no.
So he was basically just sitting there apparently for an hour or two, just waiting to regain feeling.
I can't feel me legs.
Help me!
Help me! Oh, no, he lives alone, doesn't he? So no one could help him. Oh.
Help me! Oh no!
Oh no! Oh, that was something.
And even if he didn't, they couldn't help because responsible social distancing, even in the home. Like, I'd love to pick you up, but 2 meters.
I can't risk it. My question for you as well, Mikey, because it just came back to me. Are you peeved with people getting Final Fantasy VII now, who already have it at this point, and you have to wait like a fucking lame-o to the 10th?
I would be peeved if I was starting to see it in the feed. They're just like, wow, it's amazing when they do this. Oh, this bit is shit. Oh, this bit is amazing. Oh, this game's the best. Oh, this game's shit. Let me spoil everything new. I would be peeved at that, but fortunately, my feed has been fairly dead in it.
Don't worry. Once the 10th rolls around, that'll happen.
Yeah, but once the 10th rolls around, you won't be talking to me for a while.
Yeah, I will.
No, you won't.
Oh.
Like, I'll have a stand-in.
Stand-in Mikey.
Put my mother on.
I'll need you to tell me, like, if it's likely that I'll not be annoyed by the story. That's kind of what I want to know. Will I not be annoyed by it?
From what I understand, I suppose it's like, will you not be annoyed by the additions to the story? It might be a better thing, because you already know where you'd be annoyed by the story.
When I say that, I mean where it ends. Effectively, like, will I be annoyed with where and how it ends? And it says coming soon, part 2, and I go, oh,
and I'm still trying to figure out how they're gonna break this up, because they've made Midgar a whole game.
Yeah,
they've made about, like, on a long run, that's about 10 to 12 hours.
Yeah.
If you're like building up your limit breaks and doing everything else, out of a game that, again, I have gotten an 80-hour run out of.
This is why I want you to let me know, like how well it ends, because and whereabouts it ends, because I'm interested. But I'm like, here's the thing: I'm not gonna buy it when it first comes out, because I find that was it £50 for it on new? Yeah. Like that's rough.
You never buy anything new.
No, not when I can wait and just get it cheaper. Like back in my day, new games were 35 quid.
And that was a long time before your day.
No, it wasn't. They're around PlayStation 3-ish time.
They were like 40 or 50 back then.
No, they weren't. They were 35. They were. I got them from Granger Games. They were 35.
We were paying 40. I remember paying £45 on average for a PlayStation game, and our pound was worth about what yours was back then.
I was paying 35. I went to Granger Game. We got a good deal there.
That's just because
me
were I was going to say something absolutely filthy, and I remembered you were a child at the time. So I was just like, oh yeah, no, that would be illegal.
That's true. It's true. Mikey, where can people find you on the internet if you want them to?
You can find me on Twitter as Irish Paley. You can find me on YouTube, I suppose. I've been meaning to do something with that for ages. I just haven't had any inspiration. Also, I should hopefully have a few episodes of the Fossil podcast out in the next week or two. Mm-hmm. I've been sort of semi-recording stuff, but like, oh boy, did that fall on the back burner. But if you want to send us feedback, the email is moonbase2@gmail.com, and Twitter, Facebook, and all the other mediums. We'll take anything you like. Also, be on the lookout, because we've got an interview coming with one of the Cyberverse writers, May Cat. So I've still got to send Andy the audio for that, but hopefully that will be out for Patreon in about a week or so, and then a week later it'll be out for normal people. But I really enjoyed the interview. May is a really interesting person, and quite mad. And she is of the people who only cares about G.I. Joe because Cobra exists.
Yay! Well, that's who likes the G.I. Joes from G.I. Joe? Not me.
I'm sure someone must have been buying more. Well, I suppose people like Snake Eyes. And people like Scarlet because she's related to Snake Eyes.
I always thought the Cobra guys were way more interesting. Personally,
my favorite Cobra guy is still that one grunt from Transformers vs. G.I. Joe.
Transformers,
the one who was very self-aware of the fact he was basically a red shirt. That is the best Cobra character. Just as he looks around and realizes who he's standing with, and says, "I'm going to be the one who dies."
I was going to say, is it just because you like the fact that he realized death was approaching? Oh no.
Listen, there are the two best red shirts outside of Star Trek are that Cobra guy and Red Shirt, the ultimate minion from Taskmaster.
Yeah, but he's not Dawn of the Dead.
Joke.
He's not Dawn of the Dead.
No, he is not the Dawn of the Dead. Also, I saw a stop motion thing with a toy that looked very similar to the Dawn of the Dead.
The
Dawn of the Dead, and I was just like, I need to find out what line that is, but I haven't had any luck yet.
Oh man. That's what they're missing from the Black Widow movie, you know.
Oh, they're missing a lot of stuff from the Black Widow movie. But
that's true. That's true.
Like a release date.
Oh, yeah.
But I really don't like that Taskmaster design.
Nor do I. It's not the skull face. I don't care.
And everyone goes like, "Well, it's the best they could do." We're just like, it's 2020.
Yeah.
We all know they could do better.
Yeah. And if it's like, oh, you can justify, it's like, no, they could. We're at the stage with the Marvel movies where you can justify it.
No one gives a shit anymore. Just do a comic accurate suit.
Yeah.
This is not early 2000s where we have to have a joke about the fact you can't have real Wolverine's costume.
The only thing I would say is, like, to make it look better, they could make it more armored. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
But not say it's an Iron Man suit, because that's the go-to.
Yeah, no. Like, but he's more armored, and he's got his skull face.
Yeah, and his cape. Does he have his cape in the movie?
I don't think so.
I didn't think so. I'm not entirely sure, but I didn't think I'd seen it either.
Taskmaster Black Widow. Because that costume is just dire.
Disappointing.
He looks like Casey Jones. No, he doesn't have a cape. He uses a bow. He's going to turn out to be like something to do with Hawkeye.
See, I heard the theories that people said it was the sister from the trailer. And I went, I could see that.
No, because I see her teaming up against Taskmaster. But
okay,
they've got a vague skull look, but no, come on, guys.
it's just a skull. Yeah, exactly.
And also, you should do a Taskmaster movie about the best Marvel comic to come out in the last 10 years.
It's so much fun.
It's so much better than what you're going to do with it.
It's so much better than you ever expected or ever should have had for a Taskmaster miniseries.
Yeah, it's so good and so tragic.
Yeah.
And
it makes no sense. You read it and you're like, why is this good? This should be shit.
There's a lot of Nazis in this. Why are there so many Nazis?
Mikey's next baby shower. That's what you're going to say.
Just standing there. Why are there so many Nazis? And whose baby is this?
Zig Heil, Mikey. Zig Heil. No! No! I won't.
But, how are you enjoying your baby shower? I'm not having a child.
You are now.
Just holding up this baby with a little mustache. Where does this tiny Nazi come from?
Oh no,
Daddy.
We also have a new Patreon person.
Oh, good.
Yeah, May has signed up to the Patreon. So, assuming it's the same person that you talked to.
That's terrifying.
You managed to rope him in.
I'm sorry, May, if you're listening, May. I am so incredibly sorry for all the horrible things we say and do.
No. To be fair, we say all the horrible things on the free show as well.
Yeah, but
we just say additional horrible things.
Now she might actually
stuff.
have invested money into it.
Yes.
Which is the sad. You don't. Oh, now I'm sad. I feel like I'm a bad person. It's that it's that classic moment of just shit. I'm talking to someone who's actually involved in the franchise. Oh God, no.
We've said such horrible things.
I have to emphasize, it's all for the show. We're only slightly mad in real life.
That's not true. We're completely like this.
Shut up, Andy. Shut up, Andy.
Well, since I've asked you where people can find you on the internet. For myself, you can find me on Twitter, CCTFW. You can find me on YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums on Twitter, iTunes, Facebook, Libsyn, and YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. You can also find us on the ccbunker.weebly.com, and if you head over to patreon.com/moonbase2 and you do $2 each month, you get the extended version of From the Files of Teletran 2. You get the Moonbase Woo Woo, where last time we did one, me and Adam talked about Spawn. And I guess Mikey will figure out something for the next one, yes?
I am hoping to have something.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yes. Also, I wanted to talk about the comic show while we were here.
Yes, because I hear that IDW is a bit on rocky roads, it sounds like. As they've kind
everyone is.
It sounds like IDW is on very, very rocky roads, because I hear they told the Turtles people and the G.I. Joe people to put the pencils down, which is concerning.
Very concerning. But basically, Diamond is no longer shipping comics.
Yeah.
Which means no comics are going into main stores, which means no comics are coming out.
Yeah.
So for the next few months at least, comics are dead. Now, whether this means that at the end of this, IDW will be able to come out the other side, I'm hoping it will, because at least the Turtles book sells well, I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I would suspect some series are going to not be brought back. I don't know which ones. But the thing is, we will not have Transformers. We have something for the next show, but after that, we will not have one. Even if all this stuff blew over in a month, it would take months for them to get back on track.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have at least one, maybe two shows where we've got nothing to talk about. So I want to still do them. But obviously it's going to have to be older Transformer comics.
Oh God, not the Marvel stuff.
That could be something. You and I reviewing Marvel stuff. Trying to find the stories Mikey and Andy like. Or basically we could do a series of shows reviewing non-Transformers stuff, and the Patreon extension can just be, and now you get 2 non-Transformer comics.
Yeah.
Which is an option. We'll be discussing it, but I just wanted to give people a heads up on that. We are all subject to the fates.
It's true. True that. Cool. Well, that's the podcast done with Mr. Mikey, so thank you for chatting with me this week once again. Not that you have any choice in the matter at this point in time. You have no excuses.
No, I have nothing to do.
I sent Mikey a message earlier, do you want to do the podcast? And he was like, but I've got to pick my toenails tonight. I was like, oh, come on. And he's like, oh, all right. Just to mix it up.
I could do so many things right now.
Mm-hmm. Pick my nose, pick my toes, pick my belly button for belly button lint. Stare at the wall, consider life. Count my horses.
Count your horses. That would be a short count, really, wouldn't it? It
would be. It would be. Unless you see my invisible horses.
I'm not looking at your invisible anything. That's just an excuse for you to take off your underpants.
You are now leaving